Welcome back to the Ringdown podcast, where we take you inside the world of Roanoke Fire-EMS. I'm Hope Escobar.
And I'm Casey Fury. Today we have a special guest, Cynthia Haley, and we're highlighting a powerful program making a real difference in our community, the HOPE Initiative. This program pairs our first responders with peers, people who have lived the life and walked the road of recovery, to respond alongside us when someone is experiencing an overdose or struggling with substance abuse.
Together, they not only bring medical help, but also compassion, understanding, and a path forward. Today, we'll hear about their experiences, the impact they're seeing, and how hope is being restored in the community. Thank you so much for being with us on the podcast today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So for those who may not be familiar, can you explain what the HOPE Initiative is and how it got started and kind of your role within that?
Sure. So the HOPE Initiative is part of the Bradley Free Clinic and has been around since about 2016. It began during the peak of the opioid epidemic as a way to have a safe space for people that are struggling with addiction to be able to come and try to get help for addiction and get connected to different resources. At that time, it started off with just I think one peer recovery specialist, and since then it's grown to there are I think 5 of us now, and every year it just keeps growing, and we keep extending our reach and doing more and more with the community.
So what makes the partnership between first responder and a peer recovery specialist so unique?
So to me it is extremely unique, and it's something that I feel very honored to be a part of. It is an opportunity to take somebody who has lived experience with addiction, such as myself and my colleague Jared. We both struggled with addiction for years, and we can take that lived experience and use it as an opportunity to connect with people, to say genuinely, I get it because I was once where you are, and I absolutely understand. And if there's anything I can do to help you find a better way of life, allow me to do so, because, it's hard out there. Addiction is really, really tough.
It's understandable that the scene that you guys respond to along with our crews kind of looks different each time, but can you walk us through kind of what happens on a typical call whenever you do show up?
Sure. What is so challenging is, every call is different. Every person's situation is different. And so being able to be flexible in my approach, working with the people that we interact with is positive. Typically, the rescue supervisor or the medic that I'm with will, evaluate the person, make sure that they're physically okay, check their vitals, and then if it's something that they're interested in, or even sometimes when they're not interested, it will take that as an opportunity, and I'll introduce myself and just basically, explain to them, hey, I'm with the HOPE Initiative. If there's anything I can do, any resources I can offer you, I would love to be able to do so. There's no pressure. Mm-hmm. But when you're ready, and it may not be today or tomorrow, please know you have somewhere you can turn. You don't have to navigate through addiction alone.
And from a provider aspect, Cynthia and Jared are invaluable resources right there. It's somebody, like you said, it has lived it, right? It's one thing for me to sit there and try and talk to somebody about getting help, right? But then to bring in, the compassion that they do, kind of flips the script almost, because it's not from a healthcare provider perspective of, oh, well, what you're doing isn't good for your body. I can spell out all the things about that, right? But to hear from somebody who's walked in your shoes and, show you a path to recovery besides just hearing, oh, we'll get you help, right? But they kind of bring in what that actually looks like and how to get there and how they're going to assist you through the whole way, not just, kind of talking about it. They're with you side by side, which I think is crucial for our city, especially with the struggles we currently face.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually a very good point. And when I know when I struggled with addiction and I experienced an overdose, the one of the first things that I thought of was, oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going back to jail. I was on probation at the time. I didn't feel like I could be forthcoming and trust even EMS, because in my mind, I saw the uniform, I associated that with law enforcement. And so I just was very scared. I was very guarded. And to have somebody like myself or Jared that's there, we are just regular people. We can connect with them in a different way and build that trust also.
Mm-hmm. Are there moments from the field or from a particular call that stand out to you as examples of the difference that this is making in the community?
Absolutely. There have been so many times where I have felt like the program has worked exactly like it was designed to do so, where there will be somebody who has overdosed with no family, no connections, no idea how to begin to navigate themselves out of their current situation into treatment and into a better way of life. With the Responders for Recovery program, we have been able to meet somebody on that scene during a crisis and be by their side and tell them, we can help you get past this. We can get you the quality of life back that you deserve. Mm-hmm. Allow us to help you. We can navigate through the insurance challenges. We can provide transportation. We will be with you from today for the next year to make sure that as you progress through your recovery journey, that you have the support that you need.
Absolutely. And what changes are we seeing in Roanoke now as a result of the HOPE initiative?
So, addiction, it's still prevalent. There has been, though, an increase in awareness and education and Narcan use. The numbers tend to trend down from where we were seeing a year or two ago. Since the Responders for Recovery program has been in existence, which I think my data starts from June 2023, we've had over 250 connections with about 90 of those connections accepting treatment. So I think the numbers are valid, and the program continues to build momentum because one of the things that's unique about it is we follow up with the people that we meet. Whereas EMS, it's typically a short-term relationship, and that's what it's designed to be. Whereas with the peers, we are taking that as an opportunity to begin a relationship. And so I'm trying to find a way that I can get back in touch with them, and we can continue to work together. So if they're not ready right away, they have some outlet for when they are ready.
Yeah, and as a city, we are seeing a decline in the number of overdoses. For last year to this year, overdoses on any substance, whether that be narcotics or amphetamines or alcohol, is down 22%. And narcotic-related overdoses specifically are down 20% from 2024 to 2025. We as an agency started heavily tracking this in 2023, so 2024 was our first year of full data, and then we'll have this year as well to analyze. But right now everything is on the downtrend, which is phenomenal because Roanoke has been kind of an epicenter of substance abuse for the last decade. We're starting to see the effects of these initiatives and these programs really start to take effect. As they're slow building at first, but I think education and awareness has grown tremendously, which is incredibly helpful.
Absolutely. And can you speak on how this work has impacted not only the people that you're serving, and we're seeing the overdoses trend downward, which is awesome, but how does this impact you personally as a peer?
That is a great question. And for me personally, I I struggled with a lot of shame and guilt that that resulted from my addiction and the lifestyle that surrounded it. Having an opportunity to take such a dark time in my life and use that experience for something positive, it gives me a ton of purpose. I see part of myself in the individuals that we meet, and I remember that desperation, that hopelessness, that feeling that I'm gonna die addicted to drugs, and I don't know what to do about it. And so, for me, it's just an incredible opportunity. Working alongside first responders in this scenario is such a unique experience to really meet people when they're in a crisis and one of the lower points of their life, and work with them to try to help them find a way out. I find so much value in every day the work that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this program builds trust between the community and first responders from your perspective?
Absolutely. I definitely think that it adds an element of trust and just a different layer of care. It's not just that during the specific call, of course, you're trying to save the person's life, but this takes it a step further where we are trying to build a relationship. We care about you as a person, and helping in that way. So I do believe that it is a great way to build trust within the community. So for sure.
And what are some of the biggest challenges that we're still facing in our community when it comes to overdoses and substance use?
So I believe that we have made so much progress. The numbers demonstrate that, and the efforts that are taking place, I do believe that they're working.
Mm-hmm.
Substance abuse and addiction is just such an overwhelming problem in most any community that it's hard to get ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roanoke is very unique in their approach to combating substance abuse, and it just, our numbers will be low. We can see we're making progress, and then say it'll spike like it did in August. Maybe it could have been a bad batch that was in town, but the numbers, they went back up temporarily. They're back down again, and so we're not really able to predict that when it'll happen, only to just say that, we're prepared, and, we'll continue to use the same tools with whatever has made its way into the community.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see the HOPE initiative growing in the future?
So the HOPE initiative, we continue to adapt and become flexible in our approach. There are other models throughout the state of Virginia that are replicating the HOPE initiative process. I know when I'm from Danville, Virginia, there was no HOPE initiative there. So when I was going through my situation with substance abuse, my family had no idea what to do with me. And so someone that they knew had heard of a place in Roanoke called the HOPE initiative, and they were like, maybe you should call these guys and see if they could help. And it ended up being the first piece of the puzzle that put me back together. And so I'm completely grateful for the HOPE initiative, and to be able to now work as one of the team is really a full cycle of healing and hope. So the work that we do within the HOPE initiative, I think it's very powerful, and we do genuinely care about the people that we meet.
Absolutely. I know you guys do a lot of relationship building inside the station. Like, I'll go downstairs sometimes and you're just hanging out with the crews and talking to them, and then also bringing those relationships out into the field and getting that out into the community. I think that's so impactful. What message would you want listeners to take away today, whether they're struggling themselves or have a loved one facing addiction?
So September is National Recovery Month, and for September, it's an opportunity to really educate, increase awareness, reduce stigma. It's an opportunity to recognize some of the organizations in our community and the work that we do that maybe isn't always highlighted or recognized. And so, if I could just encourage anyone that if they themselves are struggling with addiction or they have a loved one who is, reach out to somebody at the Hope Initiative, where we are more than willing to help. That's what we do every single day, is get people connected to treatment. And so, we would just love to help. We work with people that are incarcerated. We work with families and help offer support to them who maybe it's difficult when it's that close to home and it's a loved one. And it's like, if I think some of the people that we meet, if they could just love them through it, they would. But it's just not that simple. So having a third party or somebody else that can maybe take that burden away and say, allow us to help you with this, it's a great way to help substance abuse and addiction here in Roanoke.
And anybody who's never had the privilege of watching Cynthia or Jared work, kind of removing yourself from the situation, just watching that compassion and the care they have for people and the ability to drop whatever they're doing at a moment's notice to come out with us and make a difference in these people's lives, beyond the immediate care we provide. It's amazing to witness, and we tip our hat to y'all for doing what you do. It's really hard. You spend a ton of time working, behind the scenes, right? We don't see everything that you do, but from knowing you and talking with you so much, there's a lot of really good work that you guys are doing at Bradley and with the Hope Initiative, and we're incredibly thankful for it.
Thank you, and we're very grateful to hear that. It's also an incredible honor from our standpoint as well to be able to work alongside such courageous, knowledgeable, compassionate men and women that we have met in the Roanoke City first responder arena. So yeah, absolutely, it's a great partnership.
Awesome. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you would like to highlight or kind of leave for our listeners?
I think that we covered everything. I always welcome the opportunity to share the message of recovery and just offer hope to people that are still struggling. If I look back at my life, and I can say I never thought that I would be able to repair the damage that I've done. I thought that that I had gone too far and I couldn't come back from that. And so I have managed to do so. I know plenty of people that have also. So it's possible. We can help people do it, and don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on life, because life is a beautiful gift, and we can help you find that again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing and for being with us day in and day out, making a difference in the community. We really appreciate you.
Thanks. Thank you both.
The Hope Initiative is more than just a response program. It's a reminder that even in the toughest moments, no one has to walk the road alone. With first responders and peers standing side by side, we're not only saving lives, we're helping to restore futures and rebuild families.
To learn more about the Hope Initiative and other community programs from Roanoke Fire-EMS, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Roanoke Fire-EMS. Together, we can bring hope and healing to our community. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on the Ringdown podcast.
Kinetic freeze on scene. Second line, knock down the exterior fire.